Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. We also examine the worlds of education and workplace ethics. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations and breaking away from the one we're in now. One way to do that is with the tarot deck. You've tuned in to a live tarot throw. Today is August 13th, and it's about 7 in the morning. Yeah, August 13th, 2025, and it's about 7 in the morning California time. So I have 3 planned throws, the welcome throw, the one in the middle, and the aloha throw to go, the one at the end. The one in the middle, we're going to talk about Secret Space Program diplomat Chris O'Connor, but we'll get to that in a minute. I want to remind all of our viewers and subscribers that if you would like a reading, the email address is in the description. You can also subscribe to the companion channel, the backup channel, Tarot with Breakaway Ray, ! And if there's anyone out there who has a channel and enjoys public speaking or even the theater, and you're interested in my special Readers Theater project, shoot me a note, send me an email, let me know, and we could talk more about putting that project together. So I realize I have some subscribers and even some fans out there. I want to let you know that I've been talking to Rob Kay over at the Typical Skeptic podcast, and this was earlier this week. I have a plan to show up on his show this Friday. It's not poured in concrete yet. It's not totally firmed up, but I want you to know in case you need to make plans for your Friday evening entertainment. So on with our own tarot throws today. So let's go to the let's go to the tarot cam, which is the same camera. Let's turn this down. Here we go. We're almost there. All right, voila. Let's move this over. Hey, I want to say that was a lot of fun yesterday, too. We had some very interesting throws, and I had a good time meeting some new friends. All right. And I know I'm also doing this at an awkward time. Most everybody is at work. But, again, you can watch this later, because if you've tuned in, you've come across this podcast, you probably have some of the same energies as everybody else, including me. So probably the tarot cards want to share a message with all of us and tuning in. So good morning, tarot deck. Thank you for all the fun messages, fun, instructive, helpful messages. And you have the floor. Please tell us what we need to know. Please show us what we need to see. Because everyone who's here is trying to line themselves up with their soul's path and keep it going. Trying to raise our vibration. Please show us what we need to see. Please tell us what we need to hear. Thank you very much. All right. Ooh. Great. And here we go. Let's see if the tarot world has a helpful message for us for whatever time in our lives we're tuning in, whether you're with us live or catching us on a recording, or you're just popping in astrally and checking out what's going on. This message is for all of us. So, all right, we're going to start off with the Wheel of Fortune, which suggests destiny and fate, and it's also luck. As we mentioned previously, luck can be good luck, luck can be bad luck. That's the nature of luck. I'm guessing there's a message about creating our own luck. Every day could be a lucky day. I know that after we threw some tarot cards yesterday, there were a lot of fortunate, things that happened for me. It felt very lucky finding a car park, for example, missing all the crowds at my juice place, those kinds of things. And everything flowed with grace and ease. Look, I'm hung up on the one card. I hope everyone has a day like I had yesterday, which I plan to have today. A day just filled with luck, like that Harry Potter character. I forget, I think it was the 5th book where he has to go down into that maze. A lot of you have probably seen the movie, but he had that lucky juice potion he got from his teacher. He had that lucky juice. So we can all have the lucky juice going every day. We just got to look for it and expect it. It's going to happen. Maybe today's the day everything gets lucky. Yeah. All right. Next up. Sweet. The tarot world is telling us, number one, every day is a dream come true. That's for sure. You get another day on Earth. Oh, look, Namira is back. Hello. Absolutely, Namira. Please put your question in. And after I'm done with my readings, I'm going to do 2 readings, and then I'll start with yours. Yours will be number 3. So I need to turn on a little extra light over here. One moment, please. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I'm glad you're here, Namira. Sure. And let's read what the 10 of Cups says. It says, divine love, harmony, blissful relationships, alignment, inner happiness, fulfillment, dreams come true, family contentment, total love and support. And again, some of the words I've already used today on StarCard Podcast include the word alignment. We're aligning ourselves to our soul's path so that everything comes to us with grace and ease. And I don't want you to forget that it did start off with divine love, which is, love from the astral world, love from the universe. So for those of you that have been following along with me, a lot of times the very first sentence is a restatement of what the intent was when I was dealing the cards. We were asking, were there any messages for us from the spirit world? And the spirit world is saying, I'm here. I'm here to remind you that the universe provides. You create your own luck. And and you know what else? Right off the bat, the universe wants to say, all is well. Everything is fine. Everything's okay. I like how this card shows up when I'm on air, and I'm grateful for it. So here's what the Sun card says. The Sun, positivity, pleasure, happiness, vitality, fun, joy, warmth, celebration, success, rebirth, all is well. All is well. Well, I ought to have just stopped right there, right? Those 3 cards would be plenty for a message from the spirit world about have a good day, for example. But we still have 2 more sentences. Sometimes this is like the instruction sentence. So let's check it out. I think the tarot world is on fire right now. They're all excited to send a message to us. Okay, so here is the Hermit. I'll just read what it says on his card. Soul searching, introspection, contemplation, wisdom, truth seeking, being alone, independence, inner guidance, meditation, consciousness. If you're tuning into this podcast, you probably got some of that going on. You're doing some soul searching. You're seeking the truth. And I know that one of my own challenges has been determining truth for myself at another level. And so perhaps that's why you're tuning in also. Let's find out what's going on. Thank you, Tarot World, and thank you to the universe for this wish come true card. It's the 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups reads, wishes come true, there's contentment, satisfaction, emotional stability, luxury, and gratitude. Well, it all does start with gratitude. I know this guy's got a lot going on. He's got a lot of luxury. He's got a lot of cups. But you might as well enjoy it while you got it. First step in being grateful. Okay. Next up, it's the High Priestess. This is a very powerful card in my estimation. Let's talk some more about what it says on the card. The High Priestess: intuition, sacred knowledge, the subconscious, divine feminine, trust yourself, sensitivity, purity, and high morals. I like the high morals part. You know, if you, well, okay, how many times have we heard treat others the way you want to be treated, you know? And if we all behave with high morals and high expectations, not being judgmental of others, but setting an example, you know, as if you are the adult in the room and you're modeling behavior for children, even though you may be amongst adults all the time. The point is, if you're demonstrating high morals, that's a good thing. It resolves a lot of conflict. It provides a guiding light. But nevertheless, the High Priestess, she does represent sacred knowledge, the knowledge you kind of get from the inside. You know, when you get that intuitive tug, that's a confirmation of something. Let's go to the last card in this sentence. Yeah, a lot about the subconscious in this sentence. Here is the moon, and you see that there's two towers, and there's two dog-like creatures, coyotes, wolves, barking at the moon, singing to the moon. I think there's even a scorpion in the foreground there. Let's read what it says on the moon card. Illusion, mystery, dreams, intuition, fear, anxiety, subconscious, and premonitions. Remember, premonitions are, you know, you can tell what's happening before it happens. Look at all the subconscious and intuition themes in this sentence. You know, look inside your subconscious. It's a wish come true that you can do something like that, by the way, you know, because your subconscious, your connection to your soul is the most valuable part of who you are, truly, right? Because tomorrow we might pass from this earthly plane, and what are we walking away with? So congratulations, you know, on your lessons here on Earth. I hope you use them well to strengthen your soul. But this is a great opportunity, every day is, to access divine knowledge, because the universe wants to give it to you, and you can follow your intuition to confirm that. You know, we're all developing our intuition, all of us, all the time, every day. You might say, you know, hey, Breakaway Ray, you're throwing tarot cards on the internet. How'd you get so good? Well, it comes with practice. You know, there comes. Some of us get it automatically. You know, you're born that way, and you spend your whole life doing that kind of thing. I'm not even saying that I'm even close to helping people, although people tell me I am helping. That's great. But for sure, I did the practice. Involved a lot of reading and writing and hours of practice every day for, well, a few months. Okay, so let's go to the last sentence here. The tarot world's really doing a great job of sending us off on a great day or whatever our project is. Here is the 10 of Pentacles. A lot of positive cards. Wealth, financial security, family, long-term success, contribution. I would say long-term success and contribution go hand in hand. You know, if you're trying to contribute, the universe is going to support you. And yeah, I was expecting this card today. It's the 5 of Wands. It represents conflict, win at all costs. Yeah. And it's the Queen of Wands. And I know I shared this secret with everyone before. I have a crush on the Queen of Wands. She says zest for life. So I really like how the tarot world has greeted us today. You know, you want to have a great day, you're already having one because you're in connection with the divine. Everything's going to be okay. Everything is okay. Meanwhile, it's time to turn inward. It's a wish come true that you can connect with your consciousness and your soul and access divine knowledge. Okay. You can expect wealth of many kinds, maybe not just financial, you know, despite the conflicts or because of the conflicts. You know, have a zest for life when you go forward from this podcast today, because every moment is precious. So that was lovely and fun. And I'm going to put the cards back in the deck. Now, I see my friend Puckelf, a subscriber, is also in the audience. Yeah, good day to you too, Puckelf. I'm so happy that you're here. And yeah, thank you, Namira. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these one more time just to put them at rest, because I want to talk to you about one of the links I put on the description. So yeah, let me come back up here. Here we go. Great. So in the description, there is a link to a video on Rebecca Rose's podcast called Sirius Blue, where she interviews Secret Space Program diplomat Chris O'Connor. And Mr. O'Connor has experience working on, I think it is the first moon of Saturn, and that is called Mimas, M-I-M-A-S. And now I'm looking around to see how to do a share, because I got a picture of Mimas, and I'm pretty sure I can figure this out. Hang on one second. Yeah, I do want to share something. Please stand by. No, that's not what I meant. Okay, all right, so I guess maybe I'm not going to be able to share it, but if you look up Mimas, M-I-M-A-S, and you hit images, okay, you'll see a picture of Mimas, and it has an uncanny resemblance to the Death Star in the Star Wars movies. So that's kind of fascinating. But Chris O'Connor says that, you know, there's a station there, and it's almost like the UN, if it's not actually affiliated with the UN, the United Nations, and species from all over the galaxy, and I believe even outside the galaxy, come to this place, which has, you know, on the inside, it's set up so that people can have their own habitats and environments and still interact with people intergalactically. So, for example, you might have an aquatic species, and they're like on one floor of this giant space station inside the moon Mimas, okay? But the reason why you have a whole floor set off just for aquatic creatures is so that they can talk to, you know, creatures from our solar system or mantids or whatever. Everyone has their own environments. So Chris O'Connor tells a very fascinating story, and in my mind, it sounds very credible. Based on the testimony I've heard for the last few years, I'm not surprised at all when I hear what Chris O'Connor has to say. Certainly, I'm not surprised at all when I listen to what Rebecca Rose has to say. She's one of the very first Secret Space Program experiencers I listened to, and she has a remarkable story. And I want to say congratulations to her on her podcast and all the ways that she's informed us about what's going on out there. Really appreciate it. And it's also very entertaining. So what I want to do is I want to compare what Chris O'Connor says. I want to hear what the Terra World has to say about this. You know, let's compare what Chris O'Connor says about what's going on out there in the Secret Space Program versus what we teach about the moon, the Earth's moon, quote unquote, right? So I'm shaking my head right now because I tried to find this also online. It's just as well. I couldn't find it. I don't quite know how to share it yet. But in the book that I was teaching out of a couple years ago in third grade, there was a story about the moon, and I was like biting my tongue the whole time while I was teaching it. You know, you're teaching third graders about the moon, and you don't say anything except like some astronauts went there and walked around and collected some rocks. I keep thinking in my mind, how come William Tompkins is not in our science books? And if you want to know why I asked that question, if you don't know who William Tompkins is, Tompkins, he's kind of important. So what I want to do is, obviously what they're telling us about our moon up there, the one that we see with our naked eye, it's not genuine. It's not correct. And I believe that Chris O'Connor is telling us a genuine story. So I want to see a couple of timelines from the tarot cards, and then we'll see what the tarot cards have to say. So let me get some notes I made up here. Here we go. Let's go to the tarot cam. All right, I'm having fun. Yep. There we go. Yep. All right, so we're going to measure Chris O'Connor and his story. versus what they tell us about the moon. And then, I want to know how genuine these things are. That's the general question. Maybe there'll be some kind of punctuation mark at the end that we can get from the tarot deck. All right, so let's get this aside. Could you please show us and tell us how genuine Secret Space Program diplomat Chris O'Connor's story is versus what we teach third graders in California about the moon? We would find it interesting to see what the tarot cards have to say about what Chris O'Connor has to say versus the education we offer our children about the moon. And let's face it, we educate about the moon and then we just kind of stop there. I'm pretty sure in my state, they don't even really talk about the planets until 5th grade. That's 10 or 11 years old. That's a little bit late. Meanwhile, I know that 10 and 11-year-olds out in space pretty much have a way better education than what we're offering here on planet Earth, because that's one of the things that we're overcoming here at StarCard Podcast. We're into real education and the real knowledge and not this dumbed down stuff designed to create more drones for the workforce. Okay, nobody watching this show wants to be a drone in the workforce. But let's get back to our throw. Would you kindly show us how genuine Chris O'Connor's story is versus what we're teaching about the moon? Thank you. That's right. I'm going to get to the readings in the chat in a moment. Well, I'm going to go with these cards. This is the Chris O'Connor row. This is what are we teaching kids about the moon, and here's a little punctuation mark. All right, who knows what's going to happen. We've been lucky so far every time. Let's see what the cards have to say. Chris O'Connor. All right. 5 of Pentacles. So let's get the glass out and take a look at what it says. Financial loss, lack of mindset, loss, isolation, worry, need, poverty, and insecurity. Isolation seems to apply because it's isolated knowledge, it's compartmentalized. A lot of people, even in the Secret Space Program, don't know what Chris O'Connor knows. He has special access. Okay, hey, all right, sure. I'm happy to see this card whenever I see it. It's the 9 of Cups guy. Wishes come true. Hey, it's the 2 of Wands. Green light means go. He's actually looking at a sphere, isn't he? And it can be planet Earth, but in our case, it could be Mimas, and it looks very much like maybe Chris O'Connor is presenting the moon Mimas to us. Yeah, and the King of Pentacles, which reads, wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, abundance, prosperity, and generosity. I like the leadership one, because if this is about Chris O'Connor, he comes from an isolated position where he has knowledge that most people don't have access to, right? But now it's a dream come true for him, a wish come true, that he can tell us all about it. And this puts him on top. And when you see the King of Pentacles, that strikes me as being genuine. This guy's for real. All right. Now, that worked out well. Let's see how it works for, what are we teaching about the moon? It's a big rock and nobody goes there. Please. I can't believe. Anyway, I'm not going to get too excited about it. Let's see what the cards have to say. All right. 4 of Swords. Somebody's sleeping. Somebody's sleeping at the wheel, maybe. Okay. Well, here's the Lover's card. So let's do a 180 on that 4 of Swords in a minute. Because the Lover's card shows that there's a partnership, the strength of 2 in partnership. For me also, the Lover's card represents it's a message from the spirit world. Like they really care, that they're really interested in making sure we get this message. The Empress, we're going to have to take a closer look at these cards. Yeah. All right. And the 3 of Swords. Well, here's my take. This is all for entertainment purposes only. If you turn inward, you can use the Akashic record. You can use your intuition to confirm that what we're teaching about the moon is actually kind of damaging. I'm going to go ahead and read what it says about, I'll read each of these cards, although I kind of like how that sentence came out. And remember, I always talk about grace and ease. Each card almost says a sentence or a phrase, and if it comes out and it sounds like you're just speaking it, gracefully with ease, it's probably correct. So 4 of Swords, rest, relaxation, meditation, contemplation, recuperation, retreat, renewal, and solitude. Well, contemplation. Contemplate. Think about what they're telling us about the moon. And then the Lover's card, love, harmony, relationships, union, partnerships, sexuality, passion, values, alignment, deep love, a choice. Okay, so yeah, we're relaxing. This has the word alignment, align with your soul and your consciousness, because you're trying to confirm it on the inside, and that's not in some textbook. We can always, experiment and explore on the internet. But meanwhile, the Empress says abundance, nurturing, fertility, feminine, good parenting, development, accomplishment, growth, evolution. We do need to increase our communication bridge with the astral world. That'll be a continuous process, but it'll be rewarding. And yeah, the 3 of Swords, heartbreak, suffering, grief, emotional pain, sorrow, hurt, divorce, loss, and depression. I'm going to go with my first glance there about relax, confirm with the spirit world. It's always right. It's always there for you. Yeah, this moon business is not cool. We got to change that right away, which is what we're doing right here at STARCARD Podcast. And now, how about a final message about what we just studied? We have the 6 of Pentacles, which is give and take. There's a lot of that interaction on the internet nowadays. And yay, I like seeing this lady. It's the Queen of Wands. She says, zest for life, give and take, enjoy, cooperate with one another. I'll read it again. Courage, confident, independence, focused, zest for life, determination, and joy. That was a fun read. I'm glad somebody was there, like my friend Puck Elf and my friend Namira and anyone else who's tuning in later. So I'm going to go. I could see Namira's. I like how you did that thing with the flowers. It's easy to see. So Namira asked for a reading. I'm going to go back up to the top of the chat and see if I can find it. Okay. Finances better in coming months. All right. So let's check and see if, I'll throw some cards. Got it. I'll throw some cards about finance in the coming months for Namira. Please show us what we need to see. Please tell us what we need to hear about finances in the upcoming months for Namira. These offer us a helpful suggestion to Namira as she plans for her finances over the next couple of months. Please tell us what we need to see. Please tell us what we need to hear about Namira's finances in the next couple of months. Help Namira out. All right, let's see if the tarot cards can offer us any helpful messages for Namira in her finances in the upcoming months. First up, the Two of Pentacles. He talks about multiple priorities, but he also suggests that you can have it all. The very beginning of the tarot deck, the very beginning of the major arcana, it's the Fool. And he says that there are unlimited possibilities. I'm going to read right what it says on the card. It says, new beginnings, possibilities, innocence, spontaneous optimism, trust in life, blind faith, adventure, opportunity, and pleasure. It's a lovely, optimistic spirit. Yay, you were talking about finances, and here's the Four of Pentacles, guys, who says not so much that you're penny pinching or being miserly, but you're holding on to, you're managing money, you care about it, you're trying to be as wise as possible with it. Let's read what it says. Saving money, security, conservation, scarcity, control, frugality. He's holding on to a pentacle, and he's got his feet on two more pentacles. He's holding on to it as best as he can. Wow. The tarot deck is not messing around, Namira. Here's the Five of Pentacles, and he talks about financial loss, lack of mindset, isolation, worry, need, poverty. And what's that last word? I'm getting my glass out. Insecurity. I mean, I'm sure that these two cards are, really hinting at the way you might feel with your financial situation. I think it's like a confirmation. Tarot World knows who we're talking to, who we're delivering messages to here. And naturally, what you're going to hear on my show, StarCard Podcast, is, you know what? Go forward positively. Trust the beast that you're riding, is going to carry you in a proper direction in an energetic way. Let's see what it says here. Knight of Wands, energy, passionate, inspired action, adventure, fearless, impulsiveness. I want to say, I hope that's not what got us into trouble in the first place. You sound like a mature person, but that's something maybe a young person might do. We always hear about the basketball players. They get these big fat contracts, but they're only 19, 20 years old, and they don't make good decisions with their money. But the Justice card is here. Justice, fairness, truth, clarity, equality, balance, cause and effect, law. I think balance and cause and effect are important. So, hold on to what you got, because for the moment, that might be what you have, but go out and seek more, because that's what's going to bring you balance. It sounds like, everybody needs a side hustle, number one, but also we have to make decisions, cause and effect. So I would like to tell a quick anecdote. I have a friend, he recently passed away, but I know that he used to have conversations with his significant other about, what they were going to spend their money on if they went to the market. Like if one of them went to the market without the other one, they had to tell the other one what the plan was, how much they were going to spend when they go there. Because they had to realize, are we going to get some snacks, or we're going to put a little money down on the credit card, the bill, or save it up for gasoline. We have to make careful cause and effect balanced decisions. So that all sounds like economics 101. Hold on to your money. Hold on to it. Save for a rainy day, which is always my family's philosophy. Save for a rainy day. Charge forward. Instead of chilling, which we all need to do from time to time. Why don't you spend just a little bit of time stepping forward into a side hustle, even if you're just exploring the idea? Because every decision you make, there's cause and effect. Okay. There's no free rides. So suggests Breakaway Ray. No free rides. So next up, well, in your specific case, the death card suggests that there's going to be a change or a transformation. I think there's a lot of that going around. I mean, after all, I never expected to be doing this in my life, much less this morning. So anyway, there might be change on the horizon for you. The death card suggests endings, beginnings, change, transformation, transition, metamorphosis, end of a cycle. I don't know, I haven't had this experience a lot, the experience called ego death. I'm hoping that everyone else has, because when you have an ego death, I imagine it must be easier the more you go through. So there might be ego death on the horizon, right? You're going to change your identity a little bit. You're going to transform into a new person. And with that, the currency of your desires and your finances, all those things are going to change with it. The Nine of Swords talks about a sleepless night. That can have a positive spin. Hang on. So the Nine of Swords says anxiety, worry, fear, depression, nightmares, insomnia, hopelessness, trauma, and despair. So it's easy for me to say when I'm on the internet, but if that change is going to happen, okay, you want to take that energy, that anxiety, those sleepless nights, and take that energy, instead of worrying about it, turn it around, twist it around, and say, okay, instead of worrying about it, I'm going to go to my computer and set up a website. I'm going to go explore Etsy and see if there's any compatible energies there for me where I can open up an Etsy shop. Okay. So, when you find yourself being nervous and worried, instead of frittering away that good energy, because that's good energy, turn it around and channel it towards the new you, the new change that you're about to go through. And then one of my other favorite cards, you'll have wisdom. This is the Nine of Wands. I'm going to read right what it says on the card, because I think it may apply here. The Nine of Wands: courage, persistence, test of faith, resilience, boundaries, last stand, gearing up for the worst, pessimism, and weary. Now, a lot of those words might apply, but I want to say, when you do this, you acquire wisdom, you're still standing, you have scars. I like to say, but the scars look cool now. Okay, so there is hope, even when you see a card like this at the end. That is the hope. Okay, that you're acquiring wisdom and your soul is growing, and everything else will follow. Namira, I hope that was helpful. Thank you for coming to my classroom today. I'm so happy to see you 2 days in a row. I appreciate the chance to read for you. Now, I know Pakel was in there. I appreciate his enthusiasm so much. Let's see if I can check and see if Pakel is interested in reading. Wow. You're an interesting person. Okay, so can I measure on a good day post full moon week, please? So yeah, this is post full moon. I know that, and I can work on it. What's going on in your world. All right. Yeah, congratulations on your retirement, if I'm reading that correctly. Wow. You're pretty interesting. So yeah, we're going to get to your reading. Oh, and I'm seeing there's some more chat here. Yeah, imagine. Oh, wow. Namira, congratulations on your battle. And yeah, if you're in the United States, I mean, I'm aware that healthcare is ridiculously overpriced, and it's not very fair. Okay, I don't know what a vintage sale is, but I'm glad you already got your thoughts going that way. You're so welcome, Namira. Anytime, you know, you might even want to email me and you know, suggest a private reading. We could do it by Zoom. You don't have to show your camera or nothing, but I'd be happy to help out. It would be free. You know, I do have free ones to give away, and I'd be happy to do one for free for you anyway. You know, if it helps. All right, so yes, right. Okay, so but yeah, let's throw one for Puck Elf. Here we go. Thanks a lot, Puck Elf. Thanks for being patient. You always seem to have a lot going on in your world. The hard work. Doing what you do, even though you say you are retired, there's a lot of things to keep track of. Oh. So I'm seeing in the chat also, I am going to throw for Puck Elf, but I see that Namira is in the Netherlands. Okay. Yeah, I want to say that sounds like good news that you're in the Netherlands when it comes to healthcare. It sounds like good news that you're not in the United States. Thank you, Puck Elf. You're a positive energy. Okay, so it's a post full moon, and would you like to share with us all the great things Puck Elf can see in the world around him this week? Now that the full moon has passed, would you please show us all the great things that Puck Elf can look forward to in his world this week? Please show us what we need to see. Please tell us what we need to hear. And more importantly, what Puck Elf needs to see and hear about all the good things he can see in his world coming up this week, now that the full moon has passed. There we go. All right. Here we go. Okay, here we go, Puck Elf. Let's see what the tarot cards have to say. It's all for fun and entertainment purposes only. Starting off with the Queen of Cups. Lovely. The Queen of Cups says compassion, comfort, calm, nurturing, healing, emotionally stable, intuitive, caring. Well, that's a great energy to have around you and coming at you for the next week. Yeah, but then there is the Five of Swords guy. So the Five of Swords says conflict, disagreements, competition, defeat, winning at all costs, sneakiness, bullies, theft, and abusive relationships. I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, I guess to be forewarned is to be, how does that expression go? Anyway, now you know what to look for. I don't know if I'm remembering correctly, but you know, when we talked, I think we talked one time about the Temperance card. So the Temperance card kind of makes me say this, you know, look around for the beautiful warmth, comfort, and calming energy of the Queen of Cups. Look around for it and present it. in the face of all the challenges you may have to encounter also. Okay. Geez. The tarot cards are not messing around. The Five of Wands. Competition, rivalry, conflict, disagreements, strife, tension. It's too exciting. But we start off with focusing on the beauty, calm, and comfort of the Queen of Cups. Then we got these guys, being bullies and winning at all costs. Oh, yay, we were talking about the Temperance card. Okay, and here it is, balance. Look at, yeah, you know what? What's bookending the conflict that's brought in by other people? Your balance and your calm. And hopefully that brings an end to a painful episode. I mean, I guess in a way that could happen every time. You have an expectation of the worst. This is kind of like I hear like the country of Denmark is supposedly one of the happiest nations on earth because they expect the worst. And when it doesn't happen, they are pleasantly surprised. So we already know that you're going to have the Five of Swords and the Five of Wands in your life. But as long as you bookend it, you come at it with comfort and calm, and you walk away with it with temperance and calm. Every time you encounter that, it's going to be the end of a painful episode. Maybe we're going to see the hangman who represents a different perspective in the last sentence. Anyway, let's take a look at this last sentence. Yay. It's going to take strength. You seem like a strong character. And for sure, it takes strength to present balance and be the balance and show the calm. But as long as that's what you're looking for, looking to show it, to demonstrate it, that's going to take strength. But if you have the strength, you can change this world around you by focusing on that beautiful calm and comfort. Oh. Weekend, the Devil card. He says to let go, of what's troubling us. We might be throwing cards on Friday night about this same subject. This is a pretty good sentence developing here. And the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, remember the Queen of Cups was up here, and now we have a bookend of the Queen of Pentacles. So maybe the tarot cards are saying, be strong. The world can change. It can, the things that don't serve you can change, and we can let go what does not serve us, which sometimes might even appear to bring in things that are not good. And then we can finish our day before we go to bed with the Queen of Pentacles. Nurturing, practical, providing financially, a working parent. Nurturing and calm. You have two lady friends helping you from the beginning to the end. These could be even like spirit guides. Hey, Puck Elf, I had fun reading. I have fun reading for you every time. It's always very exciting. And now I see I have 55 messages from you, so I'm going to put these cards together and take a look at what you said. And then I see we're on 48 minutes. I might have to go to the Aloha throw. Okay. Yeah, you are very welcome, Puck Elf. Let me see. Let's check out this chat. Oh, great. You've already foreseen it. Great. Your energy is strong. That's right. All right. Congratulations on getting that number. Yeah. All right. So, hey, thank you, Puck Elf, and thank you, Namira, also for, all the positive comments both of you have shared with me. And so now, I guess I'm going to do my Aloha throw. I think the spirit world has a message for us as we part ways today. I don't know if I'm coming out tomorrow. And also, anyone who's watching, maybe there's a positive message waiting to reach you also. So let's see if the tarot deck would like to tell us anything or show us anything to help any of our subscribers, our participants. any viewers in the future. Please show us what you want to show us. Please tell us what you want to tell us. It's the Aloha Throw. Another nice morning of throwing tarot cards. Please tell us what you want to show us. Please tell us what you want to tell us. Thank you for all the great messages. Yeah, it feels like they want me to come out tomorrow morning too, but I'm thinking I should take a break if I get to come out on Friday night on Typical Skeptic Podcast. But anyway, we'll see. Any last messages for StarCard Podcast viewers? Don't forget to go to the description, ladies and gentlemen, and check out those links that I pasted in there. I've got 5,000 characters. I'm going to fill it up as I keep on going. The Aloha message. Oh, that's right. I like going 3, 3, and 3 on the last one. And how about one dessert card? There we go. All right, let's see how we do. Aloha, everybody. Hey, 10 of Pentacles. We saw him, I think, our first throw. 10 of Pentacles says wealth, financial security, family, long-term success, and contribution. That's right. If you're contributing, you're going to have long-term success. You're contributing, you're trying to help everyone's boat float, the universe is going to support you. And that is a message from the universe. If you remember, the Two of Cups tells me it's like a direct message from the spirit world to us. For me, it looks like two people talking on the phone and a split screen. But let's read what it says on the Two of Cups. Because, you know, nobody gets to the 10 of Pentacles by themselves, okay? There was no bee that ever built a beehive by itself, okay? We have to work with others. The Two of Cups says unified love, partnership, mutual attraction, proposal, marriage, and connection. And this would all be in the face of the Nine of Swords, which is the sleepless nights, the worry, the trauma, the despair, you know, genuine, real problems. Why don't we turn this card upside down and see what it says here? Inner turmoil, deep-seated fears, secrets, releasing worry, hope, reaching out. So I'm going to turn it upside down. We want to release worry. Worry is wasted energy. If you realize or recognize that you are being worried, take that energy and turn it into something constructive or positive, okay? Your life here on earth is supposed to be pleasant and happy and filled with joy. And you've got help from the spirit world. You know, you can be the the 10 of Pentacles. You can have comfort and wealth. Anyway, let's move on. Second sentence. Right, we were talking about money today. Here's the Four of Pentacles guy. And he basically says, you know, don't spend unnecessarily. Everyone has to mind their money, pinch their pennies, save for a rainy day. Save for a rainy day. That's the old 20th century expression. In the 21st century, you might have to say something like get a side gig. Hey, the Page of Swords. Page of Swords says, new ideas, curiosity, thirst for knowledge, new ways of communicating, restless and mental energy. And then, there's the Moon, who talks about the subconscious. In order to save money, you might have to have some new ideas, and they might come to you in a dream. You know, how many stories have we all heard? These are not stories we usually hear about it in school. How many stories have we heard about people being inspired by their dreams, and that leads them to financial wealth? That story happens over and over again. Since we were talking about Saturn's moon Mimas, M-I-M-A-S, the one that resembles a Death Star. Come on, let's face it, George Lucas, the creator of the Star Wars movies, he told the story about how he came up with the idea of Yoda in a dream, right? So it's a real thing. You can really get answers yourself, either through the tarot cards or learning how to talk to yourself in your dreams, okay? You can get an answer and get yourself on the path that you need so that you're saving money. And there's a lot of this going on, a lot of 10 of Pentacles going on. Communicate with the spirit world. That's 2 times in a row. The message is communicate with the spirit world. Okay, you can get the help you need. Page of Pentacles. Fun guide for this Aloha reading. Manifestation, financial opportunity, skill development, ambition, desire, diligence. It almost says manifesting financial opportunity comes with skill development, and that could include developing your psychic skills. Everybody has them. Okay. There is a challenge to skill development, but it's not something you can't handle. You didn't come to Earth, disabled. You came here with all the things you need, all the tools you need to be successful. And what a nice way to close, after you work at it and you meet the challenge, you'll get public recognition. You will be recognized. Okay. And here's our dessert card. I hope it's a good one. Yeah. How about the last card of the day being the first card of the tarot deck? The Fool. I think the Aloha message is, today is the first day of the rest of your life. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. One of my grandmother's favorite expressions. Let's take a look at what it says. New beginnings, possibilities, innocence, spontaneous optimism, trust in life, blind faith, adventure, opportunity, and pleasure. Lovely sentiments as we say goodbye today. All right, I want to come up and say hi one more time. And I want to check out the chat, make sure I didn't miss any fun messages here. Wow, Puck Elf. Maybe you should write a book too. Wow. All right. So yeah, I want to thank the participants in the chat today. I want to thank you for watching StarCard Podcast, and I hope everyone has a great day going forward whenever you turn off this podcast. And again, keep an eye out for Friday night on Typical Skeptic Podcast. I might be making an appearance. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great one.